It's time. I'm here. That's right. It is that time. I told y'all this day was going to come, and it did. It's here. Y'all know what I'm here to talk about. I don't know why I'm sitting here hyping this up, though, because in all honesty, y'all going to be real disappointed, maybe, in what I'm saying about this movie. But welcome to another installment of Brickwall Reviews. I'm Dave, and tonight I'm here, that's right, to talk The Flash. Can y'all see it? Yeah, y'all see the shirt. To talk The Flash. Before I get into, because I have some thoughts about this movie. This is the I don't even know how to describe this. This is a movie from DC, and about a DC superhero who made appearances in other DC movies. And this is the long-awaited live action Flash film, which I'll get into talking about this movie a lot. We got a lot to talk about, but before I get into it, I want to remind you guys, go ahead, hit that like button down below, subscribe to the channel if you are not already subscribed, follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, all that good stuff. And most of all, comment down below if you've seen The Flash this weekend. If you saw that movie, I waited till today because I'm gonna touch some light spoilers. I'm not gonna do heavy spoilers, but I waited till today. So So if y'all seen this movie and you have thoughts, go ahead, leave them down in the comment section down below. I would love to read them. This is a live stream here, so y'all already know how I do it. So if y'all see me looking down right quick, it's it's because I am monitoring this here stream. But The Flash. So let's talk about The Flash, right? So this movie here, like as I've mentioned, as I've mentioned before and already, that this is the latest installment and probably the last installment of the former DC films regime. I don't even know what the fuck that means, honestly, anymore. And I guess that's okay. This movie stars Ezra Miller, Michael Keaton, got Ben Affleck, Sasha Kyle as a Supergirl, Kiersey Clemens, Michael Shannon returning as General Zod, and a whole bunch of other people and characters, cool cameos and all that good stuff. We don't care about that. Okay, so let me get this off of my chest. Okay, so I've had 48 hours to really let this sink in, right? So I'm gonna start with the positives. Okay, I'm gonna do what many people do when they do reviews here. I'm going to start with the positives. Okay. Before I do that, I want to tell y'all, what is this movie about, right? So, according to the synopsis, worlds collide when the Flash uses his superpowers to travel back in time to save his mother from dying and to exonerate his father from going to jail for the rest of his life. Of course, this is based on the Flashpoint Paradox comic book storyline, the most famous of all Flash storylines, honestly, because this is not only where we find out the Flash's origin story, but we see a lot of his motivation, and we get I guess you could say introduced, or we get a lot of interaction between his arch nemesis, the Reverse Flash, aka Eobard Thawne, aka Professor Zoom, however you want to describe him. He goes by many names, but he's the biggest dickhead in the world. And in the process, of course, Barry, when he goes back in time to save his mother, he creates a new timeline, a new Earth that is completely different from what he's used to. And only in this movie, he needs to find out how to get back to his timeline so that the timeline that he gets stuck in is saved. I will explain what all that means as I continue. But so the positives. So I'm a Flash fan. Okay. I used to be, people who know me used to know that I used to be really big on Batman. Batman was my guy. You couldn't tell me anything. But something happened around the year 2013, I believe it was 2013, 2014, where a network known as the CW aired a television series known as The Flash. And while I've always known about The Flash and I've always had very, very good, very, very keen interest in The Flash, I was not the fan of the Flash I am today until I got invested in that TV show. And then I went back and I looked at some of the Flash history, Rose galleries, animated films, all the good stuff, right? Um, so I'm a Flash fan. And I can remember one of my earliest memories in my childhood, um, amongst many memories rather, um, is I remember I was in class, it was third grade, and I was daydreaming about there being a Flash movie, a live action Flash movie. I was daydreaming about like a trailer for that. I was like, man, that would be so cool if they make a movie about the Flash. Like, that sounds so cool. They should do that. So fast forward to this year, the year 2023, and we finally got the Flash movie after years and years of delay, production troubles. Look that up on your own if you're interested in that. Um, and I gotta say, as a Flash movie, as a movie focused on the titular character of the Flash, Barry Allen, the speedster, fastest man alive, this wasn't a bad film. It was enjoyable. It was good. I liked this. And if you saw my review, and this is a kind of a plug for another review I've done, but if you saw my review on the DC League of Super Pets, I know, wild thing to reference right now. I believe that I said in that movie that one of my favorite things, one of the things that got me really excited about that was that the Flash was in it, right? I was like, wow, the whole Justice League is there. And when the Flash came on screen, I remember pretty much being audible, not like really loud, but like kind of like out loud to myself quietly in the theater, like, wow, that's the Flash. Like, this is so cool. Like, even when I go back and watch that movie, I love the part with the Flash in there. I do. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. I like the Flash. Like, the Flash gets me hyped the way Batman used to get me hyped, right? I really do. So as a Flash movie, this is good. This movie starts off very, very, very okay. I was about to get ahead of myself. Thank you for stopping me. This movie starts off well. It starts off very well. Okay. The light spoilers here, but and it's nothing too heavy, but the opening of this movie has the Flash like saving babies. And it's kind of weird. Interesting choice to go with that, but I mean, it was nice, I guess. It was interesting. This does not, because this version of the Flash, the Ezra Miller portrayal of the Flash, was in the Justice League movie and all that, Snyder connected film. So that's the version of Flash we have here. So if you need a reference, like I said, go watch the Justice League movie, Zack Snyder's Justice League, or the theatrically released Justice League. Both of them are HBO Max. At one point, I would have said it matters, but at this point, it doesn't fucking matter. You get to see the Flash in either one of those, so you know who you're dealing with. So that said, Flash, I like that this movie has him as like, yeah, no, I've had my powers for, which, would be kind of ridiculous if he still wasn't used to using his powers. Like, he's practically a master of his powers. And one of the things I liked is that they referenced one of the drawbacks of being the Flash, and it was kind of a crutch to the opening of the film, which is, and practically for the rest of the film, but mainly the opening of the film, which is like the Flash being a speedster, moving so fast all the time. His metabolism also accelerates very, very quickly, which means he runs out of energy fairly quickly. He has to eat so much. He has to have so much food ingested and everything like that, just so that he can be able to function as the Flash, let alone just Barry Allen. And I like that they touched on that, and I like that it didn't just like reference it, but they made it a part of this first action sequence you get. And that first action sequence, the opening action, was actually pretty fun. It was fun. It was like, it had a little bit of campiness, but it also had like, it wasn't. So you know how, and I say this because I even thought about this while I was watching the movie, right? It's like Marvel should take notes, but it's as if DC took notes on what Marvel did in, let's say, something like a Civil War, where you have the characters start off, they're on a mission together, they're doing stuff together, something like that, right? It's like DC saw that and said, oh, well, these characters are known for actually actually really like, you know what I'm saying, interconnecting with each other a lot. And I like that because if you don't know now, you know Ben Affleck's Batman from also the other Justice League movies and everything is in this film, and I like that it was just like, you know, there's Batman, Alfred, and Barry. They're all just like they're a team. They're practically a team. Like Alfred's like, hey Barry, bro, we need your help. Like, come over here to Gotham real quick. We need your help with something. Come on, come on, come on, come on. And he's like, well, couldn't you call someone? It's a very fun scene. I almost spoiled the whole thing, but definitely check. I mean, it's a cool scene, cool way to open the movie. And one of the things, the title card for this movie in the beginning, where it's about to say the title, I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I'm not gonna tell you how it plays out, but it's very fun. It's very fun, and that's what the Flash is. The Flash is fun. He's a fun character. Like no lie, he's a fun character. Which kind of would kind of upset me at certain points about the CW show. Is just like, well, Barry's not always this brooding, as far as I'm concerned. But it's like it didn't have too much of the fun and a lot of the melodrama. And this one, it did kind of give you the fun, and I like that. Like I said, I can't talk enough about this opening sequence. I loved it. You know, the Batman action was cool. Um, and before I even continue, I want to mention that this movie is directed by Andy Muschietti, who directed the It movies. And he's going to be directing the next Batman movie. That's going to be coming out in a couple years down the road. And so that's very exciting. Because I'm excited for that vision, because I see what he did with these characters here. And it's like, wow, you didn't make it too serious, you didn't make it too goofy, but it's just like, it's just right. It's kind of just right. Like, but the just right that kind of veers on, okay, it's a little too much. But that's just the opening of the movie. I can go on and on about it. That's one of the things that I liked. Another thing that I liked about it is I mentioned this not too long ago, is that this is a Barry who's, again, experienced. Like, he can phase through walls, he can do this, you know, he can move so fast, he create a tornado. He you know what I'm saying? All the powers. He has his move sets, his powers he's used to. He knows how to do things. And that makes it very fun when you see action sequences, because you're dealing with an experienced Flash. He doesn't have to learn the power. I like the action sequences were fun. I like I like the dramatic parts, the heartfelt moments. You know, I like seeing him in motion with moving. For those of you who saw my review of the Eternals, I said I like the character that was the speedster in the Eternals. I like how they filmed it, how it was shot, how it was choreographed, because it just was like, wow, that's just that it just looks so fucking good. And they have one sequence where the running looked really, really good. The way it was shot, the way it was beautiful. And I was like, wow, I like that. And they didn't really do it again throughout the movie, but they did it in the context of what they did it and how they did it. It made sense, and I loved it. Another thing I also love is this is an origin story, right? But it's not an origin story where they're having flashbacks or he's narrating dialogue. This is an origin story because in this movie, when Barry goes to the other timeline, right, when he, you know, ends up going to the other Earth, other timeline, whatever you want to call it, he encounters a younger version of himself from that timeline that he ends up in, and he practically is like, oh, well, you know, this is the day we get our powers, and this is how it happens, and you have to get your powers too, because you can help me get back, and then this world will have Flash, and I'll still be Flash, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So, and I think at this point, Barry's not even aware that he's on a different Earth. I think he just thinks he's back in time, so he's like, okay, let me just have these sequence of events still happen. So the reason I say it's an origin story is because you get to see the origin of how Barry got his powers, but not the Barry that we're following at the beginning of the film, if that makes sense. And it'll probably make sense when you see it. So it's like an origin. It gives you the origin story. It tells you, oh, this is how he got his powers. Oh, this is how he was acting when he first experienced his powers. Oh, this is how he might have learned some stuff, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it does it through the lens of having the older Barry, or, you know, the Barry that we follow from the beginning of the film, kind of like, hey, okay, I know how you feel. This is how I was when I first got my powers. Don't do this, don't do that. This is how you have to learn this. Like, okay, this is how you do that. Like, it was very interesting to see it because it's kind of like a backdoor origin story, right? Like, because like I said, like so many other movies would do the my name's Barry Allen and I've been the Flash. So this is what happened. I was struck by lightning and then I learned to use my powers. Or I would stop like in the middle of the movie and like do a flashback, like I remember when I was running and I learned how to use my speed, something like that, right? But it doesn't do that. You again, like I said, you get the origin story through the other Barry while still following the story without any real interruptions of the Barry we were, taxed to follow from the beginning of the film. So that's another thing I really liked about it. And yeah, no, it was fun for me to see the speedster on screen. And like I said, as a Flash movie, it works very well. The way they explain the multiverse here is really cool. The way they, like I said, the action sequences are good. The movie is very easy to follow. Yeah, those are all the things I really liked about the film. And so the things I did not like about the film, so disclaimer, the things I did not like about the film has dramatically shrunk, which is why I'm glad I waited 48 hours to give my review, because my knee-jerk reaction, and I will tell you, my friend Mike, who does the podcast with us, like Brickwall, shout out to Mike, I called him when I was done with the film and I was enraged. I was enraged. If he was here right now, he would tell you, yo, you were pretty pissed. But I was mad because there was a choice in the movie I thought they were going to make. And I was like, yo, you are not gonna make this. And when we do the pod this week, plug in the pod right now. We do the pod Lights Brick Wall this week. Y'all make sure y'all tune in that, because I'm pretty sure we're gonna talk spoilers for the Flash, and we're gonna get really knee deep into the exact moments that I hated, or that I thought I was gonna hate this film and just completely write it off. But yeah, like just like in terms of dislikes though, let me just get and stay on that track so I don't spoil anything. The dislikes I had was just like the special effects. Like special effects were kind of trash, and it did kind of take away from certain moments, but I mean, yeah, I mean they were bad. They were noticeably bad. And I'm not one to shit on special effects because I know VFX artists work very, very hard. But this was like, it was either it was all used too much, or what was used was just like it was a little lackluster. Another thing I didn't like was there's a I'm gonna save that one for the spoiler review. How about that? I'm trying to think of which one, because a lot of the things I don't like are spoilers. But well, I can say this far. Okay. So there are cameos from certain characters that were involved in from some Justice League members. Let me put it like that. There's a cameo from a certain Justice League member that is like, why? This is the second time you've done this. Why do you just keep showing up? Stop it. Stop just showing up. You're not doing anything. Stay home. That's how I feel about that cameo. And when y'all see it, y'all gonna know what I'm talking about. It's a particular famous character that always is just popping their motherfucking head in these damn movies lately. And it's like, why? Go home. Stop coming here. We don't need you. But so that's that. Another thing I wasn't fond of in this film is just like, I'm not a fan, because it was funny. It had its funny moments. The movie for me, it was like, I'm not a fan of Ezra's version of the Flash. And that's no real disrespect to him. I've just never really been on board with it. And this movie really I had to really kind of stretch my imagination in a way, or really kind of had to really put a lot of that behind me, because I just didn't like how he played the character. I've never been fond of how he played the character. Like it was okay in Justice League because it was tolerable because it wasn't about him. But like that awkwardness, and this is no disrespect to the community or nothing like that. I don't mean to bother anybody. I say this, but he plays it like Barry's autistic, which is autism representation in movies is much needed. Honestly, honest to God. And so I don't dispute that. but it's the way that it's just the way that he's played it. And I guess maybe that's my bias because I've watched the TV version of the Flash. I've seen different versions of the Flash, and it's just like this doesn't line up with the character of the Flash that I know. It doesn't line up with like when I look on this wall and I see this character and I think about what he inspires in me and how I'm always inspired by who he is. It's like, and it's just his portrayal, his overall portrayal wasn't good until there were more serious, like when Ezra Miller was playing the serious, not serious, but was playing that seasoned Barry Allen that we have in the movie. Like when he was in this other dimension, he had to like make these decisions and train the other Barry and try to get back home and all this other stuff. Like that's where I liked him the most, because I was like, okay, I can now relate to you and I like you, and your performance is that of I'm the expert Flash, I'm the seasoned Flash, we need to save the world, we have to do this. And it's like the younger Flash that he plays, it's just, and I think that's really what it was. Like the younger Flash that he played was just fucking obnoxious. And it's just like, and I guess that's really was the point of it. But it's like, even outside of that, it's just like they're like, whenever Barry wasn't on the mission task to save the universe, the multiverse, he was just that Barry, and I need the chocolate bar. Can you throw me the chocolate bar, please? Just please, maybe, please. Like I didn't like that, and it's just like I feel like that's when I'm like, hey, toss me the candy bar. I need it. It was like, can you toss me the candy bar, please? Ma'am, I don't want to bother you. And I'm like, okay. But like I said, when he actually is like doing the heroics, it's are not, when he's not in that mode, it's like he's fantastic. Like he's fantastic. Like that's when I really like him as the Flash. I like the performance. The performance is good. His emotional moments are good. And it's just I'm not particularly fond of Ezra being the Flash. But on that same breath, I would say I would watch. I don't even fucking know if we're gonna, and this is another thing that bums me out about the film, is like I don't know if we're gonna ever get a sequel to this, because I don't know what's going on with DC Virginia, which I've talked about on the pod before, but very briefly, there's just like the whole change up and James Gunn taking over and then announcing everything that's gonna happen right before these other movies, and then like before the Shazam came out, before the Flash came out, he practically comes out and says, yeah, nah, these really don't matter though, because the next film is going to be the one that really counts for the DCU that I'm building. So it's just like, well, what's the point of me coming to see this movie? What's the point of the emphasis being on this movie? What's the point of me even getting invested fully in this character if I don't know if I'm going to see him again? Because according to what you just said, a little bit of a rant, but according to what you just said, Mr. Gunn, is that Blue Beetle is the first DCU character. What? So does this Flash movie just not fucking count? Like, is this not part of the timeline? Like, what's going on? Like, and that's, I really just wish they would have waited until after this movie came out, or even after Blue Beetle, really, and just then announce the movies that you got coming up, and then let us speculate, let us see, and then that gives y'all more time to gauge it and see, like, okay, the audience's reactors, what the audiences like about this, what didn't they like about it, did it make money, why didn't it make money? You know what I'm saying? What could we do better? Could we incorporate them? Could we change the actor? Do we need to change the actor? Do we need to do something different? Could we keep it the same? Can we find out a way to maybe change the actor, change the canon, and while still honoring that and giving that a send up? It's so many ways you could have did it, and now it's just like, I would love. I'm being real with you. I would love to see Ezra Miller. I know the controversy, and I'm gonna get to that in a second. But going purely off of, let's just pretend I don't know anything about the controversy, and I just walked into this movie as someone who just wanted to see a movie about the Flash, don't give a shit about Hollywood behind the scenes bullshit. About these actors and celebrities. I see, celebrity walks out wearing their underwear all day, and I say, I don't give a fuck about that shit. I'm not reading that. I don't care. Let's just say I'm that guy, right? General audience guy. Let's just say that, right? I'm seeing this for me, I'm seeing this. I'm like, wow, I had my gripes, but I wouldn't mind seeing him or them. But I don't. It's a game. I wouldn't mind seeing Ezra Miller reprise the role as the Flash in a sequel because Ezra Miller has shown that Ezra Miller is competent in performing this role and could grow and could take what worked and keep molding it and become a very good Flash. So now I'm going to backpedal and talk about the controversy real quick. The controversy behind Ezra Miller does kind of drag this movie down a little bit. I'm not going to hold you. And I don't often merge the artist and the art together. I try to do my best to separate the two because I don't know. I just try to separate the two, okay? Because it's if you, I have my reasons. I don't need to explain it to y'all. It's just you gotta separate them. But with all the stuff that he did, mind you, I wasn't too invested in it. I wasn't like, oh, cancel Ezra Miller, get Ezra Miller out of here, blah 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 blah. I was just like, well, shit. I hope this movie comes out. That was me. Now my stance the whole time has been, I hope I get to see this Flash movie that I have actively been waiting on since a kid. And I hope that we get to, I've gotten the movie I wanted. I got my Flash movie, and it sucks that the controversy happened because the marketing of this film made this seem like it was going to be cameo fest and Batman movie number 17,000 and it was going to be all this, and then the Flash was just going to. It made it seem like it was going to be Doctor Strange and Multiverse Madness. Was just like, oh yeah, well, I mean, this is a Flash movie, but it's everybody else's movie too. Like that was probably a bad example, but you get what I mean, right? So, and that's another thing I did like about the movie too, and that's why I have to applaud the movie. This movie had restraint like a mug, like because this movie could have very, very, very easily been cameos the movie. The way it was being hyped up, the way it's all, oh yeah, we got the Batman, oh, we got the same cameos, oh, we got this, oh, we got a cameo that's gonna blow your mind, oh, da, 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 da. And I'm just like, I mean, fuck the cameos, nigga. Are we getting a Flash movie or not? Like, I'm not here to see cameos. I'm not here to see Michael Keaton's Batman or Adam West Batman. I'm not here to see 5 different Superman pop up. I'm not here to see this character, that character, that character, that character. I'm not here to see that. I'm not even like, it didn't really even hurt me that bad that Grant Gustin didn't make an appearance. Like, hey, I was a little teed about it, but I mean, at the end of the day, because I'm not here for them, I'm here for the Flash movie that I'm getting. This Flash movie that you have presented to me on the table with this actor, that's what I'm here for. And that's all I wanted. And to be fair, that's what I got. That's what I got. That's what this movie delivers. This movie delivers a Flash movie. Okay. And that's why I applaud it, because this, again, even with it's a particular sequence where they could have just went crazy with cameos. Crazy. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. There's a particular scene they could have dragged that shit on for 5 more minutes with cameo. But they didn't. They had restraint through the whole movie. They had restraint on that end. And that's why, again, it kind of sucks that the controversy happened, because this could have been marketed as there were a lot of. This was a Barry Allen Flash movie. This was a Flash movie. Ben Affleck's Batman is in the beginning for about 10 minutes. Michael Keaton's Batman shows up in the middle. It's not like he really does a lot, but and then at the end, you get your ending. So I mean, this is not a bad movie. And like, I get why people could shit on it a little bit, especially because it was hyped up. Oh, it's the best DC movie ever. Oh, audience are loving it. It's the best superhero movie of all time. Is it? No, it's not. But it is a very good start to what I hope is a Flash franchise, because I would love to see Ezra Miller's Flash. Honestly, honest to God, y'all, say what you want about me with this shit. I don't care. I would like to see Ezra Miller's Flash go up against Captain Cold. Bring back a Captain fucking Boomerang. The Reverse Flash. That's my guy. I can see Ezra holding his own, just as an actor. I can see Ezra Miller holding their own, and being a very good, giving a very strong performance against whoever they get to play Eobard Thawne. I can see it. I can see Ezra Miller giving a good performance, bouncing off of a Captain Cold, Rainbow Glider, Captain Boomerang, Golden Glider, Weathermaster, Trickster. I can see that. I can see it. I would love to see it. I just don't know if I should get hype about it because I just don't know where this is going. Like, it was reported that the ending was changed like 3 different times under every single regime that came through the DC doors. So it's like, you know, but I mean, as like I said though, as a movie, this was I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. And why I got mad, again, I will say why I got mad is because I thought that they were going to make a certain decision in this movie in the climax with a certain character. And I was like, oh, so y'all just going to spit in my face and tell y'all going to look me in the eye and tell me that ain't in this movie and that is what this is and that this is right here. Like, I had no lie, I had my fist clenched because I was really about to be pissed off if they did that. But they didn't do it. And I'm glad they didn't do it. And I'm glad that this movie still sets up the road to get to Thawne as soon as the second movie, really. But I mean, maybe that's just, for a Flash movie, it's good. It's the first Flash movie we've gotten. It's good to see DC characters that aren't Superman and Batman. It is, he still has that goofy ass run, but I tolerated it. I was able to tolerate it. Yeah, I liked it. I often have, over the course of the past 48 hours, I found myself reminiscing more on the things that I liked about the film as opposed to the things that I initially did not like. And the things that I did not like, I pretty much laid them all on the table. And the things that I liked, again, I laid those all on the table. The only thing I can really consistently say about this movie is that it's a Flash movie. If you want a Flash movie, this is it. This is what we got. It's not a bad Flash movie. Could it have been better? Yes, it could have been better. They could have done a straightforward Flashpoint adaptation. They really could have pulled the same ending from Flashpoint in this movie. They really could have done that. They didn't. I don't know why. I didn't want to ham fist into Batman, but I guess, but it could have been a more straightforward Flashpoint story. And, it could have dealt with, for the first movie for the Flash, this was kind of a disservice because I would have liked, and I hate that Captain Boomerang had to die in the Suicide Squad. Spoilers if you haven't seen that. Because it would have been nice to see Barry at least have a rogue to fight instead of going to Gotham and helping Bruce with his problems. I mean, that's cool and all, but like, even then, like, it's like, damn, like the fucking Snyderverse has, like, it's so much potential that was there just based off of this movie. Like, they could have carried a Ben Affleck Batman movie, and like, oh goodness gracious, like, the things that could have come from this movie. There's some, and that's a good. I mean, I don't know, and that's why it's really kind of hard for me to really even gauge this movie. And I know I'm here a little longer. I'm gonna shut up. But it's hard for me to gauge this movie because it's like, I don't know what I have to look forward to. And I guess that's a throwback to when we just got movies and didn't have interconnected universes and franchises. So in that regard, I can respect it. But at the same time, it's like, are we going to be taxed to care about these characters in the future? Are we going to see because I honestly, if they recast Ezra, I won't even be surprised because I understand the controversy. I understand there are people who did not see this movie because of the controversy of Ezra, and that's your choice and your decision. And I respect it. I have nothing bad to say about that because those were some wild things. But now I hate to keep harping on that but the reason I am doing so is because it did affect how it affects the franchise, you know? It affects the franchise because he's not a bad Flash actor. Not the best. And he does take some getting used to. And I feel like if you had to get used to him, this is the movie you watch to get. This is the piece of content you watch to get used to Ezra Miller's portrayal as the Flash. This is what you watch to get used to it. You know what I mean? Because I'm on Grant Gustin. I'm Team Grant Gustin all day. You know what I'm saying? That's my boy. That's the OG. Like, or not the OG, but like he was the guy who carried it for 9 seasons. Like, you know what I'm saying? Carried it for over a decade. Like, you feel me? But I don't know. But I mean, that's all I have to say. Like I said, this movie is not a shit show. It's not like the fucking worst thing in the world. It's not the worst thing in the world. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 67%. I agree with that 67%. I agree. I mean, maybe I would bump it to 70, but that's just out of sheer the fact that I came for a Flash movie and I got a Flash movie. Maybe not the Flash movie I wanted, but the Flash movie I got. I need to shut up because this is about to be a long ass review for no reason. But overall, I mean, I know the box office ain't doing so hot. I can't imagine it doing any better. Prayers for Blue Beetle, honestly and truthfully. I feel like James Gunn really kind of fucked this film over by not shutting the hell up. But, respect to you, Mr. Gunn. That's no disrespect. I just wish that you maybe didn't say certain things before this movie came up because it confused me. And I'm pretty sure it confused people who pay attention. But people who don't pay attention, you guys are lucky. But, okay, I'm gonna shut up now. I'm gonna save the rest of my thoughts for the pod this week. But overall, this movie out of my 5 stars, I'm gonna give this, y'all, strictly for this being a Flash movie, because that's the only way I can look at it, right? Which is what we got, which is what exists. We have a Flash movie. It just features 2 Batman and a Supergirl. Supergirl's performance was amazing. I hope we see her in the future. She was an amazing performer. She did a good job in this role. I want to see more of her, honestly and truthfully. It was great to see Michael Keaton's Batman. It was great to see Ben Affleck's Batman. You know what I'm saying? It was great to see Jeremy Irons' Alfred one last time. Jeremy Irons is a good ass Alfred, bro. For real. Jeremy Irons and Ben Affleck as Batman and Alfred are like, that's a dream team, bro. That's a freaking dream team, bro. Come on. Anyway, all right. So my rating for this film, I'm giving it 4 out of 5 stars. Higher than I thought I was going to give it after I walked out the theater. I let it sit for 2 days. Okay? And I'm confident that I'm giving this a 4 out of 5 stars. Okay? It's not perfect. No, this is not a perfect film. No, I'm not caping for this film. No, I'm not saying that this film is good just because I'm a Flash fan and then when you see universe. No, I'm saying that because like this movie really is not bad. It has good comedy, it has good moments. Yes, there are some very fucking questionable decisions, but this is not, trust me, this was not the worst. This was one of the better DC films. And as Mike said, it's a shame. It's like going through shit to find. I forgot what the phrase is, but you dig through shit to find a diamond or something like that. I don't fucking know, but it's not bad. This isn't bad. I give it a solid 4 stars. If I were to bump the score or change the score, it would be a 3.9. Because this is not, again, I enjoyed this movie, and thinking of it, I just think of moments that were fun, and that's what this was. So 4-star movie for me. And that's my honest, I don't feel any conflict from that. I feel confident in that 4-star rating. But it's definitely a lower 4-star if it appeases the court, but fuck the court, it's 4 stars. So take that how you will. The Flash now playing in theaters. If you want to, definitely check it out. I mean, if you're a Flash fan, I don't know the next time we'll get it, so we might as well just enjoy what we have. It could have been worse. But anyway, that's all I have. I've been here way too long. Guys, go ahead, hit that like button down below, subscribe. If you enjoyed this review, go ahead, leave a like button down below, comment down below, let me know your thoughts. Continue to watch, continue to subscribe, continue to follow us on social media. And until next time, be easy, stay breezy. Peace.